Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, this video is gonna be, I have a few precepts here. Okay, I actually just posted an article. Now I'm gonna pull it up and just show you what it is. Okay, but as we've been saying, we're coming into that time which now people are starting to see. Okay, people are starting to see this one right here. Okay, and it says here, as well, you can read it, okay, which it could ruin the summer. Okay, and so I captioned it bye bye summer. All right, which there is a possibility, there is a chance, okay, that your summer is not, you're not really gonna get to enjoy your summer. And we know that as we get to the winter time, things happen. Okay, but pursuant to these scriptures, there's a lot of judgment scriptures that are in here that have yet to be fulfilled. And I'm talking about judgment on a whole, global judgment, all right, as well as judgment upon Israel and these heathens. And for that brief period between last year and this year, where you sort of, got your head up from underwater, got a little breathing space, and now it turned into a whole pool party. Everybody's thinking, yeah, we're all good. No, you're not. And we've been telling you this. But let's get into it. This is the book. Because remember, whatever this devil plans to do, it's all by the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It's all done by the will of the Most High. And the Most High, through his prophets, through the Holy Spirit, has had these scriptures put together that let you know what his agenda is. And the scriptures say that Esau, the wicked, is the Lord's sword. So whatever Esau does, whatever agenda he pushes, however he pushes it, it's really the Most High in control of it. So don't think that for a second that they're about to let up and everything is just going to go sweet. No, that's how it works. It looks like it's smooth sailing up until it's not. So this is Hosea 5:15. It says, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction they shall seek me early. And I really want to focus on that last part. In their affliction they shall seek me early, because one thing about people is, there's a scripture I believe in the Apocrypha, and I want to say it's in the book of Ecclesiasticus, that talks about prosperity not being remembered in, or adversity not being remembered in prosperity. And people forget that at one point, you see, when you catch in hell, then you want to get all spiritual. You want to turn to the Most High. You become humble. You become quiet. But then they get a little bit of relief, and they go right back to it. And now what you're seeing in the world, this flood behavior, which is completely out of line, they're overdoing it now. Why? Because they were shut in last year. They didn't get a chance for their demons to get activated during the summertime. So now their demons are working overtime in here. But guess what? The Most High is about to bring, and when he brings this affliction, people are gonna turn around, and then they're gonna want answers. Then they're gonna want to say, "Oh, wait, hold on. What were you guys talking about? Wait, I think I'm starting to come around now." But the scriptures talk about them seeking the Lord, but they shall not find him. Okay? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 11. And it'll be a beautiful thing for them to take away your summer. Because, and it's not just because, we just want to hate or anything, but it's because all you see when summertime comes around, these clubs get open, these bars and all of this, and all you see is just Jake just overdoing things and taking it to a whole wicked level. So yes, lock it down, shut them back in their houses so there can be some peace and quiet in the streets. 4th of July, this day, this day. I mean, it's just ratchetness everywhere. And the level of ratchetness is just going up by the minute. And that's why, and it talks about in Revelation 18 that the sins reached onto heaven, and the Most High, he heard the cries, and then he brought that judgment. And that's what he's getting ready to do. The earth is gonna, man, the earth is gonna look like a, especially in Babylon, it's gonna look, yeah, it's gonna look like hell. All right. This is Isaiah 24:11. There is a crying for wine in the streets, which that wine represents the truth. All joy. And why are people going to be crying or seeking the truth? And why in the streets? Well, when you go to the book of Proverbs, the first chapter, starting at the 20th verse, as a matter of fact, let's just go there real quick. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. Now, we know that wisdom is not a physical being. You know, wisdom is not, you know, an actual man. It's being personified in this context. But how does wisdom cry without? How does wisdom utter her voice? Through the men of the Lord. As a matter of fact, when you let's get it that rule. Let's get that too. I believe it's Proverbs 8:1. Let's see. All right, so Proverbs 8:1, it says, doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth on the top of high places, by the way in the places of the paths. And who stands in the way in the places and the paths? Well, let's get to that. Okay, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 30, verse, and I'll start at 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not. And who are the seers? The prophets. Because they were called seers in old time, in past time. And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. And that's why they fill up these churches and these talk shows and so on and so forth, because they like to be told smooth things. They don't want to be told the truth. They want to be told what's going to make them feel good. And as the saying goes, the truth hurts. They want a pretty lie. Isaiah 30:11. Get you out of the way. Get out of the way. That's what they say. Now, who is that? That's referring on to the prophets. Get you out of the way. Turn aside out of what? Out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Well, how do we cause the Holy One of Israel to be before them in the first place? Is by the testimony of Yahushua. So when they say we should cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before them, they really want us to stop preaching the word of the Lord. They want us to stop preaching correction. Stop teaching Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. But keep in mind, they said to get out of the way, and to turn aside out of the path. Now going back to Proverbs 8, what did it say here in 8:2? Wisdom, she standeth in the top of the high places. Where? By the way. Get out of the way. By the way, in the places of the paths. And who stands there? The prophets. And I brought this out to show you that wisdom, the way she does this is through the prophets. Because when the prophets stand in the way and they cry out, that's crying out wisdom, crying out knowledge and understanding. So it's not wisdom literally, but it's through the voices of the men of the Lord, as we're gonna read here. Verse 3, she crieth in the gates at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. Okay, so when you go back to Proverbs, the first chapter, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. That's referring really to the men of the Lord, to the prophets, all right, who are out there teaching. Okay, so going back to Isaiah 24:11, there is a crying for wine in the streets. Well, that wine represents that wisdom, represents that knowledge. It also represents the oil which the 5 wise virgins carried, while the other 5 foolish virgins took none. That same oil. And it's spiritual, because really we can link that in here too. All right, Matthew 25. Okay, And let's actually just read it real quick. This is the book of Matthew 25:1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And it's spiritual because, I mean, I'm just getting precept after precept, but that's what we're supposed to do. All right, let's go to Revelation 14, verse 4. Now, actually starting at 1, and we're going to jump down. So it says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. Verse 4. These are they, referring to the elect, which were not defiled with women, and that women is not literal women, but is going into philosophies. And when you read, I believe it's Proverbs, the 5th chapter, and really the early chapters of Proverbs, it goes into a whole account of it, or it might be the 7th chapter, but it deals with the woman, which is really referring on to these other philosophies. But the same way wisdom can be likened onto a philosophy, or wisdom can be likened onto a woman, these other philosophies can be likened onto women. So it says, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are what? Virgins. See, so when you go back to Matthew 25, virgins. All right, let's finish here, verse Revelation 14:4. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. The Lamb is Yahushua. So going back to Matthew 25:1, that and I'm going to link this back to the bye summer. Right, so it says, verse 1, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But what? Go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Now, the point that I wanted to make here is that while they went to buy, what did they go to buy? They went to buy the oil, which represents this truth. And where would they go to buy it? In the streets. They would go about in the streets to look, all right, to see where they could buy some of that oil. So linking it back to Isaiah 24, there is a crying for wine in the streets. And that wine can be likened onto that oil, referring to the truth. See? So there is a cry for wine, a cry for truth, cry for answers in the streets. All joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. And that's exactly what this place is about to witness. And I mean, when the Lord finally shuts the mirth down, it's going to be shut down for a while, and it's going to be shut down pretty, it's going to be pretty shut, to put it like that, because the atmosphere is going to be so deadly and death-filled and scary that to smile or to laugh, if you're not part of the Lord's elect, is going to be a rare thing. Like, people in the world just smiling alone is going to be so rare. The main emotions that people are going to be feeling is tears. Tears are not emotions. Sadness, sorrow, pain, okay, anger. Negative emotions are what people are going to be feeling. That's going to be at an all-time high. If there was a stock market for emotions, those would be selling. Okay? People will be crying. That's going to be the norm. And it's going to be so bad because the scriptures even say, a man shall desire to hear the voice of another. And that's how bad it's going to be, that there's going to be so few people left. As where you used to walk down the street You know, you look at somewhere like downtown Manhattan, you look at Times Square, Fifth Avenue, all these places, and it's constantly filled, man. Spaces, COVID cases. It's just filled with people. All right, that was an inside joke, but it's constantly filled, and I mean, it's gonna get so bad that if you find yourself walking through there, you be like, damn, this place is completely done, like a wasteland. That's where you'll probably have flashbacks if you've ever been there of how 24/7 it was packed constantly. But as the scriptures say, all joy is darkened. The clubs, the partying, the mirth, the whoredoms, the all the vanity, done. And it's gonna start off slowly, but it's gonna pick up very, very quickly. Verse 12, in the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. And that's what's gonna happen. Okay, so let's move on to the book of Second Ezra chapter 5, verse 8, because over the past few months, around this time, people don't really want to hear, if the spirit is not on you, they don't really want to hear the truth. A lot of people are more into enjoying, they're on that YOLO spirit. Let me enjoy this bit of freedom that I've been given. So they don't want to hear, they're not inquiring as they were, like I keep making reference to last year. When everything was, oh, what's going on? Then everybody was inquiring. But now they feel as though, oh, well, we have some sense of normalcy back. So what do we need to inquire about? That's what we wanted, and we're getting it back. You guys said we wouldn't get it back, but look, guess what? When it finally goes down and you don't get an opportunity to get it back, and it's worse than before, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna bust a sharp ass U-turn, try to come back and ask questions. That's when the questions and the inquiries and the oh my gosh and you were right and the, oh my, but that's not gonna help you. See, when the Lord brings that famine of the word, it's gonna be a famine to people that don't have it. But Lord willing, we're of the elect. We're gonna have it in abundance. If you haven't noticed, when we go out to the highways and byways and when we do these videos, we're teaching you the things of the scriptures that we know. And you learn things here and there, but the main basics and overall of the scriptures, you learn that within the first 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years of the truth. And of course, don't get it wrong, you're always learning more things in the truth, but I'm talking about the basics, the main focus of salvation. So we're gonna have that. But those that are gonna really, really need it and seek it, then, although it's not gonna be allowed onto them, they're gonna be desperate for it. Because the time of seeking, you weren't seeking. So when the time comes, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Well, guess what? We have the wisdom and knowledge. We're teaching it to those that don't have it. And the Lord has it to where his elect are going to get it. And what? The rest are not. And then when the time comes when they're running around looking for answers, guess what? You're going to be running around like headless chickens with nowhere to go. No direction. You're not going to know what to do. The scriptures say they're going to be like blind men. All right, this is 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and wild beasts shall change their places. And you will see that. You will see, and how are they going to change their places? Well, a lot of different areas that are not city-like, but even in the cities, when things get so bad, what zookeeper do you think is going to be going to work when all hell breaks loose? And you think it's a hard thing for the Most High to just open those cages? And those zoo animals will go and get out. And the ones near in the forest that are not far from certain cities, they're going to be coming there. Because the Lord is going to put a certain kind of spirit on them. The same way he put a spirit on that lion to find that prophet that disobeyed him and rip him to shreds. The Lord is going to put a spirit on these animals. And people going to be looking around like, whoa, where the hell did he come from? I'm here it is, you in a subway station and you see a line coming at you. Now you're looking at the line, but your brain is not computing how the hell did a lion get into a subway station? And he's looking at me with his tongue out. And he's getting closer and closer. See? And it's going to be unexplainable things. It says, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and salt water shall be found in the sweet. Because right now, people through their freedom and their liberty, they have the sweet. But when the Lord flips things over, where they thought to get those benefits and those sweets is going to be the opposite. Okay, the same, and even on a large scale, the same America that was so fun last week, you're drinking and getting crazy, and oh my gosh, I love it, is going to turn into a nightmare. And everything that you sought to do is gonna you're gonna reap negativity out of it. It says, and all friends shall destroy one another, then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chamber. Because we're not going to be out there prophesying when all hell is breaking loose. Okay? And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall be, because see, the reason that this truth is out there right now is because mainly of the internet. Because when we're not physically prophesying, you can still go on YouTube or Daily Motion or whatever site and type in maybe Great Millstone or whatever, and the videos will still be there. That's where you get the truth. Now, if we were if we were to stop, if all of us were to stop speaking and not prophesy, the videos will still be there. You'll still be able to learn. But once the Lord takes that away, the only way you're gonna hear this word is if we are through the Spirit, if we're prophesying or if we're teaching it to you. That's the only way. Because once you speak something out, I mean, it lasts for however many seconds the sound of your voice lasts, but then that's it. It's as though you didn't speak. So unless somebody's in the vicinity and they hear it, they're not getting that information. See how vital and crucial it is to get the information now? It says in verse 10, and shall be sought of many and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon earth, and wickedness is going to be at an all-time high. No mercy. It says, one land also shall ask another, and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say, no. And at the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. Remember, as we read earlier, they're going to seek the Lord in their affliction. But guess what? They're not going to find the Lord. He's not going to answer to them. They shall labor, but their ways shall not prosper. And that's what's coming. And it's going to start by the sudden destruction. Okay, you were led to believe something, you're all happy, and then all of a sudden it's gone. And then it didn't stop there. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. People forgot that inflation is still going up. All right, just because it hasn't hit the things that you buy daily on a large scale, you think it doesn't exist? No, it's still there. This economy is still going down. Tensions are still rising. And as the top says here, judgment must come. This is Jeremiah 15:2. It says, and it shall come to pass, if they shall say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Now they want to know, well, what do we do? Where are we going to go? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, not us. This is what the Lord said. Such as are for death, to death. Such as are for the sword, to the sword. Such as are for the famine, to the famine. And such as are for the captivity, to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord. The sword to slay, the dogs to tear, the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. So people you're gonna have bears coming out, mauling people, lions, hyenas, and you wondering how the hell, where'd you come from? Okay, that's why it says it's gonna be a time like never before. Okay, so hopefully it is a bye-bye summer, not only in France, but over here in the U.S. too. Okay, because this wickedness needs to stop. All right, but hey, it's just a matter of time until the Lord brings that heavy judgment. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.